Is this thing on? Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Guys, I'm so freaking nervous. I don't know how to start this video. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Okay, now that we got that out of the way. Hi, my name is Lauren, and I haven't been on YouTube in a while, but I am here, and I want to tell you every single book that I read in the year 2024, and I'm gonna rank it out of 5 stars. Okay, I read 25 books. My goal on Goodreads was 24. My Goodreads is in my bio, by the way. Oh my gosh, it feels weird to say. If you want to connect on there. With that being said, oh, let's crack open one for the bookies. The booktube people. Cheers this flavor. Okay, I'm ready. Oh, let's get this video rolling. In no particular order, here is every book that I read this year. The year isn't over yet, and so I'm currently reading The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore, which I've been eating up. I am about like 3/4 of the way through, and I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars because I didn't go into it with super high expectations for plot or mind-blowing twists and turns. Like, this is a romance book that she describes as a Hallmark Channel movie with spice, you know, and it's giving me exactly what I wanted. So 4 out of 5. I gotta be honest, y'all, Iron Flame is hard to get through. It was a hard read for me, honestly. Like, even though I love the characters, for some reason this took me like half the year to get through. I kept ditching it and coming back, so I'm gonna have to give it like 3 out of 5 stars. I will definitely read the new book in January though. Fun fact break, there is a Discord book club that I happen to manage, and it's a freaking fun time. All right, we just meet on Zoom every month. It's great. We choose a book we want to read, and so like a majority of the books I read this month were from book club, and so let's start going through those right now. Powerless by Lauren Roberts was definitely a fan favorite in book club this year. It's fantasy romance, and this one is kind of like The Hunger Games, except it's forbidden love because he's royalty and she is from the poor side of town. And so that mixed in with a ton of different magic lingo. There's a ton of reasons why they shouldn't be together, and that's why I'm eating it up. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read the novella, I think that's what they call this, which is Powerful, also by Lauren Roberts. And this was so cute. Obviously it's super short and it's a little bit, to avoid spoiling anything, this is kind of like digging up a hole that some people think didn't need to be dug up. So it's controversial, but I thought it was cute and I like a little backstory, so I would give this 4 out of 5 stars. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is just a classic that everybody needs to read. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favorite authors, so like, I'd recommend any of her books, honestly, but this was totally different than what I expected. Evelyn Hugo is a Hollywood movie star in the 50s or something. Oh, 80s. Back in the day, all right, when it wasn't as safe for people to be open about their sexuality. It's all about her experience in, yeah. I don't know how to phrase that. 4 out of 5 stars just because I wouldn't read it again. I don't feel like I need to. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan was definitely a page turner for me. It's about this guy who keeps to himself in his small town for a whole lot of reasons. He's got his reasons for isolating. And this girl moves to town and lo and behold they meet, and it's a romance, okay? And I would give this, let's just say 4 out of 5 stars, because again, I don't think I'll read this again, but it was a page turner and such a unique story that I was just so into it. Like the trope is just so unlike anything I've ever read. I think he's also, he can't hear. He might be deaf if I'm remembering correctly. I would look into the trigger warnings for this one because there's some scenes, if I remember correctly, that could be not good for certain audiences. I gotta be honest, y'all, one of the least popular books in book club this year was The Do-Over by Lynn Painter, which I was kind of surprised by. I really loved her book better than the movies because even though it was YA, it was still so cute to me, kind of like how even as an adult you can watch a YA rom-com and it's still cute, like The Summer I Turned Pretty. But this The YA was just a little too YA, but it is a Valentine's Day story, which is a part of the reason we decided to read it back in February. The aesthetics of this book are a gazillion out of 5, but as for the reading as an adult, I'm gonna have to give it like a 2 out of 5, but I'm sure an actual YA reader would thoroughly enjoy this. On the complete other side of the spectrum, my favorite book club read of this year was Once Upon a Broken Heart. Okay, we were just gonna read the first, oh, this is also by Stephanie Garber. We were just gonna read the first book in the series, and then that month I was like, I think there's 3 books in this series, and I flew right through them because this was a love story. I had to know what happened. How do I describe this? This girl, Evangeline, gets her heart broken, and she seeks some, comfort, I guess, or answers at this magical church. She's like, please, just like help me get out of this heartbreak. And lo and behold, craziness happens. This is romantasy, and goodness gracious, it's a gazillion out of 5 stars for me. This was so good. But the first book, hold the phone, starts off really, I don't know if I'd say it's slow, but I was like, what the why is everybody raving about this? I did not like maybe the first quarter or half of the first book, but once I got through that, once the characters actually started interacting more and having the romance and the tension, I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn the pages fast enough, okay? Book club also read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson this year. And it was the perfect timing because the TV show had also just come out, so we had so much to talk about. And this is a YA read, but everybody seemed to get pretty into it with all their theories, and I don't remember people saying it was predictable, which is good. I think some readers of book club even went on to continue the series. I didn't. I don't know. This genre is not my most favorite. Even though I enjoy it, I'm not like itching to read the next book. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars though. I liked it. And to give you a little synopsis, this is about a girl named Pippa who's doing a school project to solve the, I know I can't say certain words on TikTok. I don't know if, can I say that here? She's solving of one of her classmates for a school project. That's about it, really. Emily Henry books seem to be highly anticipated all the time. It makes sense. She is a reputable author. I read this in the beginning of the year, so forgive me if my memory doesn't serve me super well. This is my favorite of the Emily Henry books I've read so far. This girl goes through a breakup with her fiance, and she's navigating that, and she has this nice roommate who's also, I think, navigating some heartbreak, so they bond over it and blah, 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 blah. It's just a cheesy romance book. I don't think it was very smutty, which, I mean, some people don't really like smut, so I don't know. I mean, this was a nice book. I don't remember a ton of it, but I'm more fond of it than I was of Happy Place by Emily Henry. This I'd give like a 3 out of 5 stars, I think. That's it for everything we read in book club, but let's dive into some of the others I read on my own. Love Light Farms is one of them by B.K. Borison, and this is the first in a series of standalone books. It's another cutesy Hallmark movie rom-com kind of vibe. Big city girl moves to a small town and blah blah blah. It honestly really reminds me of this book. Like, I visualize the worlds. They're very, very similar, but I do prefer this one because it's just got a little more spice, and I guess this one had spice too. I don't know, but I really like this one, and this one took me a little longer to read. So I'd give it like 3 out of 5 stars. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston was a super unique book, and it actually reminds me of the movie with Reese Witherspoon. I'll put it on the screen. But this woman is living 7 years in the future or the past, one way or the other, and she happens to fall for this guy who lives in the present. I I liked this book. I won't go back and read it again. If you just like a general romance book with a unique situation, like different timelines, then I would recommend this, but I'm not over here like, you must read it. So again, I think I might give this like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I got into a pretty bad reading rut for like 3 or 4 months out of the year. So bad that I didn't even read the books for the book club that I manage. And so I was like, goodness gracious, please, can I just find any sort of like super chill, easy read to get me out of this? And the book that did it was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now I will say this didn't rock my world or anything, but it's just one of those, again, Hallmark movie vibes that was so easy. I got to take my time as I read it, and it wasn't so boring that I like took a gazillion years to flip through, but it wasn't a page turner either that like I finished in a day or two. So this is about a doctor who is from a big city with a lot of money, and she falls for this dude in a small town, and they meet in a kind of funny way. Throughout the book, as they start to get more feelings for each other, she's trying to navigate like, how do we make this work when we're from such different backgrounds? The male main character is a total sweetheart, though. I enjoyed this, so I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars. This might be the strangest book I read all year, if I'm being totally honest. It's called Summer Sisters by Judy Blume. It takes place in the 70s, or it starts in the 70s when these girls are younger and they're best friends, and it goes all the way up until their adulthood. And they're, how do I even describe this? They're best friends that almost seem to have feelings for each other, but maybe it was just mistaken as feelings, but it's really just friendship. And they break each other's hearts, and there's just heartbreak all over the place, and then they're getting married, and it's like, oh, well, what happened? Let's solve the mystery of why our friendship was doomed. I don't know. It was okay. I wouldn't recommend it. 2 out of 5 stars. Sorry, Judy Blume. She was one of the best authors of my childhood. I don't want to, but 2 out of 5. I think that everybody, especially the women out there, needs to read The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. I hope I said that right. I can't believe this is a grade school. Well, I can believe it because she purposely made this easily readable. I don't think that's a word. She wanted everybody to be able to access this, which I thought was awesome. It was like a super speedy read, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't put it down. It's almost like poetry sometimes. She really just took her brain and threw it onto all these pages, and it wasn't messy. It was like a perfect art piece of just everything put together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's what makes paintings beautiful. That's what this book is, okay? It's, how do I even describe this? It's the story of a young Latina girl growing up in Chicago, inventing for herself who and what she will become. It's incredible. Hold on, we need to get some like brighter light in here. The very best book I read last year, and quite possibly one of the best books I've ever read in my life, was Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Okay? This is another romantasy book, but it's not just like a fairy tale land. Okay? We've got real human people on like Earth, and then we've got an underground like Stranger Things vibe of whatever we call that, the Upside Down in Stranger Things, with like a ton of Greek mythical creatures. They got like Greek gods or something ruling the, yeah, it's crazy. I haven't read this in a while, so forgive me for being out there, but Iris and Roman work at they're like writers, okay? They are writers, and they are, they kind of compete at work, and so there's this tension, right? Well, Iris is sent out to work on the battlefield during this crazy, I think it's a war of some sort, and ... things get so crazy. She meets incredible friends along the way, and reunions happen, and oh my. Okay, now, a gazillion out of 5 stars for this. Ruthless Vows is the second book in this 2-book series, and a lot of people, I mean, I went to a book club in the city of Chicago for this, and some people were like, it was kind of a letdown in comparison to the first book, which I can totally see. I would have to agree in a sense. I mean, this book is just so magnificent that it's hard to follow it up, but still, I'm so in love with the characters and the setting and their stories that I'm not totally bothered by how it ended. I just wanted the story to keep going on and on and on and on and on and on forever because I love them so much. So of course I'm a little like sad at the end, but still. 5 out of 5 stars if I'm being totally honest. Now for the books that I read on my Kindle. A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston was about this woman who is driving through, she's on a road trip to go on this solo vacay. She winds up in this small town and then she realizes, wait, why is this kind of familiar? It kind of reminds me of this book that I've read, like not only just any book, but like my favorite book of all time. And then she meets the people and it's like, what the is this, like a fever dream? I don't know. And I thought that was such a cool setting, a very cool concept, but there were some like plot holes in there that I was kind of like, wait, why does this make that, huh? But still, I mean, I do remember parts of that. They've stuck in my head and it was cute. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, just because the plot holes bugged me really, really badly. So I don't know, but it was cute. 3 out of 5 stars. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez was one of my favorite romance reads of the year that wasn't in like the fantasy category, because the protagonist, the two what do you freaking call them? The love interests, they were so relatable. They had realistic jobs, and the way they met online, and I won't say anything more than that, but it's just like so unique and fun. It wasn't a crazy page turner, which I mean, again, it's romance, like it doesn't need to be. But I really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. It's a fun romance read. And by the way, the title makes you think that it's a summertime beachy kind of read, but it doesn't have to be at all. Like it didn't give summer at all to me. You can read it at any time. The book that had me the most angry this year was The Woman in Me, which is the book that's about Britney Spears. I was just furious at the way the people close to her in her life have treated her. I was always so interested in her story just because, I mean, she had to keep so much under wraps for years that when this book came out, I was like, I need to know what happened. And so I flipped through those pages so fast. It was definitely a page turner. And I don't usually read nonfiction, if you couldn't tell from all the other books I've mentioned to you, but her story was one I just wanted to know so badly, and I'm really glad I read that book. 5 out of 5 stars for sure. In one of my other book clubs this year, I read Finlay Donovan is Killing It, and it's about this mom who and she's trying to cover it up, and no, wait, does she? I can't even remember, but she's trying to cover up. Oh, no, she does not do but she finds this guy she's trying to cover it up, but she's also falling for this other dude, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how to, like, be in a relationship, and also, like, try and cover up this situation that I stumbled into, that, oh my gosh, I literally did nothing wrong. Craziness. It was a book, for sure. It was definitely a book. But because she's a mom and I couldn't really relate to her, and it's not in the genre I typically gravitate towards, maybe like a 3 out of 5. It wasn't a bad book at all whatsoever, but I don't think I'd run back to read it again. That's all the books I read in 2024, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you want me to make a video about the books I plan to read in 2025, please let me know, because I've got quite the TBR list lined up already, and I'm finally out of my reading rut, hallelujah. So I'm just so excited, and yeah, if you want to join book club, everybody's welcome. It's just a Discord, and we meet once a month on Zoom. If you have any questions, you could always let me know, or comment, or find me on Instagram, or whatever. We'll chat. But this has been so fun, and I hope to see a lot more of you this year. I'm gonna come back to YouTube, and yeah, why not, right? Why not? Okay, thank you again for watching, and bye!